Evening everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night's live stamping. I'm just quickly going to drink my tea while it's lukewarm. I'm waiting for a few people to hop on and join us. I've got a nice little card for us tonight. I've got a little bit of a cough, so bear with me. It's not a COVID cough, it's the end of a cold. Thankfully it's going away now. Hi to Marion and Christine. Oh, wrong finger. Let's have a look. Sandra, Sharon, and anyone else that I can't see right now. Okay, so welcome to Wednesday's live stamping with me. Thank you ahead of everyone who's spending time with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I'll try and reply to comments as we go along. Tonight's card I'm making is with some product that features in our annual catalogue. It's a returning product that was returning to us from last year's winter catalogue, so I'd almost forgotten about it until I saw someone post some bits about it, and then I thought, oh, I'll dig those out. So I'm going to be using some Old Faithfuls tonight. I'm sure some of you will have these in your stash, and if you haven't, they're really cute and I forgot how much I liked them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop you on hold, flip my screen around so you can see my desk, and then we will get started. So I hope you're all sitting comfortably. Almost finished my tea. It was only made for me about half an hour ago, which isn't bad. Right, so just bear with me. Okay. Right, so empty desk for you this evening, but I promise you I've already made something. I'm not going to wing it, I'm not good at that. Right, so tonight's card that I'm going to use and making is with this little fella. Snowman Season. This was really popular in last year's winter catalogue, so much so that it's come back for the annual catalogue. So you'll find this in the main, the bigger catalogue. Really cute photopolymer stamps, and it also coordinates with a punch, but I'm not using that today. The other products that I'm using are these. They are Snow Globe Scene dies, and the card that we're going to make looks like this. Okay, so it is a bit of a fancy fold, and we've got this lovely snow globe. I don't even know what you would call it. Snow globe shaker. Let me see what it says in the box, shall I? Snow globe shaker domes, that's it. So you can actually use these to make shaker cards, but I have left all the pieces out of that just to show you how to put that together. We've got a little bit of heat embossing with silver, and the colour, the blue, is actually Seaside Spray, and that's from last year's In Colours. So I'm going back a while, but this is the card we're going to put together, and actually it's quite straightforward. Bit of matting and layering, and then the hardest bit is this, but I'm going to show you actually it's not hard at all. So let's get started. So for this card, I've actually written my measurements out here for what I need, so feel free to copy those down. And I am going to use my trimmer to get us started. Hi Hilary, and hi Simone, hope you're very well, ladies. So we're going to start with a piece of Whisper White. Now this piece of Whisper White is an A4 length, and it's 10.5 centimetres wide. So we're going to do 2 score lines. The first one we're going to score is at 5 centimetres. And then the next one we're going to score is at 19.9 centimetres. And that's it. So this is the basis of our card. Excuse me. So it looks more complicated than it is. So that is our little panel here. And then if we fold this over, they should roughly meet. And so we've got the width here. This is 14.9 by 10.5. So this will fit in a standard C6 envelope. Okay, but just be mindful of this shaker dome. Okay, so that is the basis of our fold. So it definitely looks more complicated than it is, but it definitely isn't too complicated. So we're going to start by adding some layers. So I have got here a layer of Seaside spray cardstock to go on our front. And for my layers, all I've done is I've taken the measurement down each time by 1/2 centimetre, which seems to work quite well, and that is my go-to measurement for matting and layering as well. I do tend to work in centimetres now more than I do inches. And if I was working inches, I would tend to work on an 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so we have that like so. So the pieces inside, we're going to do a little bit of embossing first, but I can put in my piece of silver foil. Oh dear, I was wondering how this would go tonight with my silly cough. And whenever I have a cold, it always ends up with a cough, so I have no other COVID symptoms. I've looked at them 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day just to double check. So this is our piece in here, but we're going to do some stamping and some embossing before we stick that in. So we'll do that after. Excuse me. So the piece that we're going to use first is this piece here. This piece here is what we need for our shaker area. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing to start us off. So with heat embossing, I'm going to use my embossing buddy just in the top corner, and the reason I use that is just to take the static off of the card. And I'm just going to stamp one there and one there, so not much at all. And then tonight I'm using silver embossing powder. So just dip that in. Excuse me, tap off the excess. Okay. And then we heat with our heat tool. And this will go nice and shiny. There we have it, like so. So you can see that's lovely. Got a lovely shine to it. And then in the bottom corner, which is this one here, again, a little bit of embossing buddy. And then a little bit of stamping. Dip it in the embossing powder. Tap off the excess. Just using a little paintbrush here to get rid of any specks that are being stubborn. And then heat. There you have it. See that going? Pop the lid on that for the moment. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our Snow Globe seam die. So this is the die that we need. Hi Lisa, thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up roughly where I want it to be and stick it down with a little bit of washi tape. Okay, I'm going to move that down ever so slightly. Okay, and then I'm just going to run that through my cut and emboss machine behind me. So then if we bring this back in, the middle bit pops out. Let's try and get this off now. Yeah, the middle bit pops out. We carefully take off our die, like so. And we are now left with that. Okay, so we will now need a snow globe shaker dome. So these come in packs of 10, and they have adhesive on them already, so you don't have to get all messy with lots of different glue. So then this is the piece that we're going to work on with our stamping to start with. So we're going to start by stamping our snowman, and I am using smoky slate for that. So I'm going to stamp just a stamping mat because it's a photopolymer stamp set. Okay, so just stamp your snowman like so, and he's really cute. We're also going to need another snowman on a piece of scrap, and you just need the snowman, you don't need everything else, because surprise surprise, we're going to fussy cut him out. So then we will colour this in. So for his nose I'm using a light pumpkin pie. I didn't want to go too bright with the colours because the blue that I'm using is very subtle. Just add a little bit of shading using the smoky slate blend. Now you don't have to colour the one on the circle, but I'm going to. And then for his arms I'm just going over with a bronze Stampin' blend. I would say this is the truest brown pen that we have, and it comes in a combination pack with an ivory one as well. And then for his little smile I am using a Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going over those little dots just to highlight his smile a little bit more. You can do it with his buttons as well if you want. If you want him to have black buttons, I'm not bothered. Okay, and then now we want to cut out some trees. Where are my dies? Here they are. So in this little pack you also get a set of other Christmas themed dies to use within this scene. So just cut these out. So this is the little trees. Last year, they haven't brought it back this year, we had this gorgeous glitter. It was really lovely, but they've not brought it back. These looked lovely with a bit of glitter on them. Okay. So I know that we've just coloured him in, but I want to cover him up now because I'm creating a little bit of a scene within that shaker. So let's put this on. Scissors, here are scissors. Okay, because these shaker domes are quite deep, you can actually build up quite a lot of depth within your image, within your scene. So pop that on like so. Just be mindful not to go above the edge of that, and then we'll cut out our little snowman. I'm just going around the edge, leaving a little white border. So hands up who else forgot about these products, we're still current and we can still use them. I know these were really popular last year, and I know I did a few classes with them as well. So some of you would have bought the product with your classes. He is my first snowman of this Christmas season. So Sharon's just asked, would you post this in an ordinary envelope? So you can post it in an ordinary envelope, Sharon, yes. However, you wouldn't want to damage this part, because you can see it's quite deep. So I would perhaps put that in a Jiffy style envelope. Depends how you're sending it. If you're popping it through someone's letterbox, then that would be fine, but I would be a little bit nervous of putting it in the post. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting my snowman on and just lining him up with the base image that you can just about see. So it now means you can't really see the snowman underneath, but it now looks like he's standing in front of trees. Cute. So let's put the lid on my glue. Now we're going to bring this back in, and we want our shaker dome. So to start with, what we're going to do is we are going to bring our card in, and we are going to line this up roughly where we want it to make sure we've got a nice thin border, and then we are going to stick down this piece that we have cut out. So just slot that back in. Right, so we now know that is going to be exactly where we want it to be. We can now peel this bit off, and now we can stick down our snow globe. So for that, we're going to peel off, there's adhesive both sides, so we're going to peel that off here, and we are going to put this piece over it like so. Okay, just give it a little clean to make sure that you've not picked anything up. And then now we're going to add some glue to this base layer, and then peel off the adhesive strip this side. When I can pick it up, here we go. So peel that off. Bring your card back in, be careful not to get yourself covered in glue, and then pop that back down. So there we have our little shaker element, and because we've been careful with where we've measured it, it's slotted back in and it's exactly where we need it to be. Cute. So the next thing we need to do is put on our bottom of our snow globe. Hi Courtney, better late than never, of course. It's lovely to have you. Thank you for joining us. So we have here a base die for the snow globe, and we have this lovely detailed die for the top. So I'm going to cut the base one from white, and I'm going to cut the detailed one with silver. So I'm just going to run these through my die cutting machine, which is just behind me on my trolley. Okay, so here we have our base piece, and then this is our detailed bit, and I think this looks really lovely in the foil. Just pulling out all the pieces. Barbara's put, love this card. That's really kind, Barbara, thank you. It's nice to do a special card every now and again with something a bit more going on. Okay, so we're nearly there. For those of you that have bought the sunflowers set that have got the jam mason jar shaker domes, you could also put him in one of those as well. So now we're going to put this together on here, and for this I'm going to use just little dots of wet glue. There's a piece there that's still stuck. Okay, and then match these up. These are exactly the same shape, so we're just fitting them over the top so you end up with that. And then now this is going to be popped onto the card with some dimensionals. So there's a nice amount of dimension to this card, and we've got some nice texture with the embossing. So there we have our finished shaker dome snow globe element, and all that's left for that little piece is just to add a couple of gems. So these are the epoxy dots, which are really handy. You get frosted and clear. So the next piece we need, I think I've just used a piece of white that I shouldn't have used. Yeah, look, this is really clever. This was my piece for there. Really clever. Let me just cut another piece. I'm just grabbing some white cardstock. Do I have any scrap? No, I don't. Why is it whenever you want a piece of scrap you can never find it? This is my scraps box. What do we reckon? Yeah, that's better. That'll do. So the measurement for this was 4 centimetres by 9 centimetres. Is the snowflake from the snowflake stamp set? No, the snowflake, you're talking about the one I've embossed, is from the snowman one. I will show you in a second. It is this one here. Okay. So now we have our piece of card back. Yes. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping. I have Let It Snow, which is the sentiment again from the Snowman stamp set. We will stamp that in the middle. There. I'm stamping in Seaside Spray, which is the same as the cardstock colour that we've used. And then we're going to do some more embossing. My desk feels a bit busy this evening. So first things first with embossing, we want a little bit of embossing buddy. Okay, so I'm just going to add some snowflakes around the edge. And then we'll bring back our silver embossing powder. Okay, and then remember with your little paintbrush, just get rid of those stubborn pieces. So, oh, I've made a little smudge. Doesn't matter too much if you get little specks. And then just heat. So we're going to set this. This will go nice and shiny. It's just starting to go now. Sometimes you have to be patient, but it's worth it. That's it. So there we have our little embossed sentiment piece. So that will go there like so. So that is our little card front finished, and I think the embossing really makes it. Look at that sparkle, that shimmer. Sweet, isn't it? And then all that's left to do now is the inside of our card. So if we open this up, what I've done is I have done a little bit of embossing on the blue. So we'll do that to start. So this piece is going in like that. And it's up to you how much you do. I think I'm just going to do a little bit in the top corner on this one. Lovely. So pretty. And I've left this relatively blank inside because you could, it's a little space for you to do a little bit more writing, or you could attach a little photograph or something. Like so. Over here we want a little bit more. And I'm going to do that in the bottom corner this time. I do tend to find decanting your embossing powder into bigger tubs so much easier than the little pots. So that would be my tip for embossing. Otherwise I tend to find I get myself into such a mess. And then the last thing we need to do is bring in our piece of white, which is just here, and I'm going to stamp the extra sentiment. The extra sentiment is hoping this season builds heart-warming memories. How cute is that? And I'm going to put that down here. And again, that's in Seaside Spray. And then in this one I have added the little snowman, but I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to keep it really simple. And then the little bit of instead I'm going to do a little bit more, a few more snowflakes. So, okay. So that little bit of embossing in the corner I think is so sweet. So then we'll pop this back down. Like so. So there we have our finished shaker dome card without anything inside it. We've used the Snowman Season stamp set for that, and the snow globe dies as well. We've got some really pretty silver heat embossing to match the gold, the silver foil that I've used here. So that's it for me this evening, guys. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will put all of these measurements up on my blog for you, and if anyone has any questions about any of the products or techniques I've used, feel free to pop me a message. Remember that the Get and Go promotion finishes in a few hours. If you wanted to take advantage of the starter kit joining offer, then the promotion finishes tonight. If anyone has any questions about what that involves, let me know and I'll come back to you as quickly as I can. I'm mindful that that finishes in a few hours. And that's it from me tonight. I'll be back here at 8:30 on Sunday evening. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone, and I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thanks then. Bye.